Mitchell.
It is time. The newest Cavs. Shout out Earl, Donovan Mitchell's new boy.
Yeah.
For hooking this up. Brad, Kobe, and the Cavs. Thank y'all again. And let's get to know the Cavs' new superstar a little better.
Let's do it. Here it is.
Hopefully Mike didn't smash the mic into his mouth.
I was very careful with this one, trust me. One more Cavs Media Day, 60 seconds this time with the newest Cav, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, if someone wants to play Donovan Mitchell in a movie, what actor's playing you?
Denzel.
You said that was too. Favorite cheat meal?
Sweet potatoes with macaroni and cheese and fried chicken.
That is a sweet,
yeah, that's cheap.
Cheat meal for sure. Best dunk in the history of basketball?
Vince Carter jumping over, I don't know what his name was.
The 7-foot
Vince
Frenchman.
Carter,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
If you could go to dinner with any two people throughout history, who are your two dream dinner guests?
Barack Obama, Jay-Z.
Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Hot.
That's the wrong answer. Do you know that, right?
Hot coffee for sure. It's cold.
Power rank queso, salsa, and guacamole.
I don't like any of them.
What?
I agree.
Do I? Wait a minute.
Do you eat any good foods? Like, if you don't like those three, what do you like? Yeah.
Salsa and guacamole.
Yeah.
I don't like any of those. I can't do it. That's funny. I was just telling somebody about that. Any like sides like that, or like?
It was fair side then.
I mean,
A lot of
ketchup.
pressure on
I guess ketchup.
Two more. If you could have an animal sidekick, what would your animal sidekick be and why?
Probably a tiger.
Tiger. Why
Yeah.
tiger?
I mean, Mike Tyson has a pet, and he survived that. So, I think if I just brought a tiger around, people wouldn't really mess with me. You know what I'm saying?
And if you have any superpower, what would it be?
Teleport.
Easy one at 60 seconds with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan,
Damn,
thanks,
that's a
man.
good one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
here
was
we
awesome.
go. Here we
Like
go.
his
Here we
handshake.
go.
There you go.
We're going in.
Hey,
That was the sloppy slide.
Nice.
Hold on, it looks so much worse in slow-mo, but there's
That's
only
why
enough
it's great.
pad. That's the only thing we could cut for this. Y'all
That's
have
great.
anyone in slow-mo, it's going to look terrible.
That was-
Donovan's a guy. Donovan's my dude now.
Hey,
That's
listen,
great.
could
That
he
was
be
a
more
great
likable?
67.
Could he be more
He
likable?
came off awesome. I don't know why Mike always asked the coffee question. To me, that can be replaced.
That's a big question to him.
It's a
But the
huge
rest of his
question.
questions are awesome.
Yeah. I'm shocked that with the queso guac.
I agree with him.
His
I don't
answer was
use any-
ketchup, by the way. It's the only questionable thing Donovan
no.
Mitchell has ever said in his entire career since being in Cleveland is ketchup is his favorite
And his
side.
sidekick animal is
Tiger.
a tiger.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Tyson didn't actually have a tiger.
I thought he did.
No, in the movie The Hangover,
Yes,
he
but
had
I
a
think
tiger.
he did in real life too.
Does he really?
I
Yeah, he
think
really did.
so.
I know he's big with pigeons.
No, he had a real tiger.
Right, he did have
People used to
pigeons
go
when
to
he's
his
back
house,
in the day.
And they would freak out because it would be a tiger. They was like, bro, it's a live
I think they
tiger.
probably came up with the idea in the movie because he had it in real
I
life.
didn't know that. I just thought that was
I
his
think
character in the
so,
movie.
right?
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm probably 96%
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat if you
Mike
if you
Tyson
look that
owned
up.
3 tigers.
Okay.
That's insane.
It's not
Of course
insane.
he did.
Because
You wanna
one's
guess
not
their
enough.
names?
One is not. What are their names?
Kenya, Storm, and Boris.
Would it surprise you if Mike Tyson
Boris.
went in the cage with the tiger?
No.
Like, that wouldn't surprise
Now,
me.
you got to think about it. At that era, the 80s was crazy.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson had tigers, and Michael Jackson had Bubbles the monkey that went everywhere with him.
And he had a zoo.
And a zoo. And he brought the monkey to, like, photo shoots. Like, hey, this is Bubbles.
By the way, like, in my lifetime, to me, there were only 2 things that I can think of. Like, in sports, it's always been to some different levels and different times. Baseball, football, basketball, right? Those
yeah.
were the 3 sports
Sure.
that made huge headlines.
Yes.
The only 2 things in my lifetime that I can think of that got to that level was obviously when I was a young kid, you a little older than me, the 1980 U.S. Olympic team, of course.
Absolutely.
And then Mike Tyson's
Run. Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
that was must-watch TV. It was talked about everywhere.
He used to train in
Right,
upstate
in Brooklyn,
New York, and
but
obviously
he was
from Brooklyn, right?
And we used to we would get huge watch parties. Everybody I knew
yeah.
would watch those fights. Now I don't even know. I can't name a boxer.
no,
now.
it's boxing's dead.
Yeah.
UFC has replaced it.
The
Pay
hook-
$60 for a pay-per-view that lasted 30
right.
seconds.
Listen,
But you
that-
had to see. You
in
wanted
the
to see him
80s.
Hey,
killing.
no. So in the 80s, when he was
Yeah.
doing his run, I think it was Michael Spinks. I may have told this story.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of college friends over
Yeah.
my house, and we ordered pizza. And because of the fight, the pizza deliveries were so far behind. Because I even
Yeah.
said, I'm ordering this thing an hour before the fight because I don't want to be messing with it when the fight's on. We're waiting. This fight is starting. It's opening bell. The doorbell rings. I got to go pay the dude. I go pay the dude. I'm paying the pizza. Now, I thought my buddies were playing a practical joke on me. Everybody simultaneously, 90 seconds into the fight, screams, "Oh my God!" I grabbed the pizzas. I gave them way too big a tip because I didn't want to wait for change. I came running back in, thinking they were screwing with me. It was over.
Right.
Michael Spinks was being counted out, and I'm like, and I paid for the fight. It was at my house. I paid for the fight, and I didn't see one second of it. Not 1 second.
And you couldn't rewind in those days.
No, they replayed the entire fight
Oh, yeah, it's true.
10 times because they had to fill 2 hours. But I was out $50, and I gave way too big of a tip to a pizza driver.
Tyson was so big. People don't know. Tupac died in a Mike Tyson fight.
Leaving Tyson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's how
I didn't
big.
remember that.
Like
Mike Tyson was crazy.
All the stars
Every
came out for the Tyson fights.
Every
If you were
star.
an A-list person, you either were at the fight or you couldn't score tickets to the fight.
But getting back to Donovan Mitchell, he does seem very down-to-earth guy, and it just kind of fits with the other stars of this team. Jason, you know them much better than we do. It seems like all four of those guys are pretty down-to-earth. Is that the case?
Yeah, they are. Jared Allen is just like he gets made fun of for the sweatpants and shoes that he wears.
Love it.
He walked out All-Star Weekend. He walked out through the corridor, like through the public. I'm like, man, I'm not sure this is a great idea.
Yeah,
I just rolled out and
Well,
got
did
into
you see
a car.
yesterday in the Guardians game? I don't know, later in the game, maybe the 8th inning or something. Darius Garland was there and did an interview with Andre.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking at the time, I'm like, these guys are all just Joe Six-Packs. And I wanted to ask you, is that just the luck of the draw, or is there some sort of method to Kobe's madness where, yeah, they're ridiculously talented, but they also seem to be almost all of them old souls.
Yeah.
Quiet guys, just the kind of guys you want to build if you're building a test tube
No doubt.
NBA superstar.
Yeah, I think some of it got lucky on because obviously the talent has to win and the talent has to fit first.
Right.
But that plays, like if it's a bad guy, you now have to sit down and have a conversation. Do we want to take on this risk? And there is no risk with those guys, at least not to this point. They are all genuinely good guys. And even when they were terrible a couple years ago, that's what they kept saying was like, listen, these are really good guys. I'm like, okay, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah,
They're not
right,
winning.
right.
But even back then, it was, this is a good locker room. These are good guys. There's no one causing problems. Like and even like Dion and Kyrie back in the day were not necessarily bad guys, but they just wanted to strangle each other.
Yeah.
It was like running a daycare, and that was not the case this time.
Porter Jr. was the
He
headache.
was.
And they made it a tough decision because they didn't have any talent.
They moved on.
And he was the most talented player that they had. Before Mobley got here, he was the guy
But one of those
talent-wise.
in your locker room can spoil the whole soup.
Well, and I actually had an NBA GM. I'll clean it up, even though we're not supposed to swear. He said you can have one S-head in the locker room and get by if you have the right leadership. You can't have two.
Yeah, because they'll team up and then they overpower the
and they can rot the whole thing from within.
The one thing that this is what I feel like, and I thought this last night when I was watching the game. I feel like a kid at Christmas that got a racetrack, and I'm watching my dad put it together, and I'm like, Dad, hurry up! I got to try this out. I can't wait. I can't wait. That's how excited I am to get to see this Cavs team in
Season
action.
starts in like 3 weeks.
I can't believe it. I can't, and I just can't
so
wait
crazy.
to see how these parts gel. Because
got
if
a
they
shot.
gel like we think they can,
Shot.
this is going to be a
Do you
fun
think
ride.
Mobley, probably not this year, but do you think he will
Yes.
eventually be a top 10
Yes.
player in the league?
I don't care what your question is. The answer is yes.
So if Mobley becomes a top 10 player, and this team is what it is right now, if it doesn't take, if you think it could happen this year or maybe one more year?
I think
2
one more
years.
year. I think probably one more year.
Okay.
They'll be a playoff team this year. And the only thing I would caution is you got to give this time right away
To gel,
to
sure.
let these guys figure it out.
Right.
Darius and Donovan have to figure out how to play together. It did not go well with Darius and Colin. I think it'll go better.
Yeah.
With
But it's
Donovan.
gonna take time. Yeah,
but
sure.
it's going to take
What
time.
about Jay Crowder?
That we heard that. A little bit.
I would not be opposed to Jay Crowder.
I wouldn't either.
He was so good, and then he came here and he was terrible.
Yeah.
That
I
had to
don't-
do with.
But that was
I was covering him every day
Yeah.
when he was here, and a lot of it was he couldn't find a role.
Right.
Like his role, playing with LeBron
It's hard.
Can be
Yeah.
wonderful. It can also be very challenging for
Is
guys.
he still good defensively?
Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He was really good.
I mean, they brought him here to guard Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be
I mean,
the
he's
KD
just
guy.
really kind of just the player they're missing. That's like the one.
That's
piece.
what I thought too. When I
Yeah.
first heard the name, I'm like, wait a minute, that could be the missing link.
Yeah.
I really liked Tristan Thompson when he was here because
Yeah.
Tristan wasn't afraid of getting guys' faces, either
Right.
opposing or your side, if guys were acting out. Jay is that guy. Jay is not afraid to get
Do you think this team needs one of those? Because I don't know who that guy would be right now.
I think it wouldn't hurt it certainly could help. I don't know if they have one of those guys right now.
Yeah.
I don't know they do either.
Yeah, I
He
don't think he
seems-
would cost a ton. He's only
No.
making $10 million. He's in last year of his deal,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think
excited.
it's worth kicking the tires on. I don't know what the price is. They don't have a whole lot to trade.
No, it'd have to be. Yeah, I don't know who they trade.
No, it would.
He clearly wants out, though, as he
Oh,
tweeted.
he does
Oh,
want
he's
out.
done. Yeah, he's.
And
he's
what the
done
heck
there.
happened where he wanted? He was done. I mean, is it just
He's in
just-
Phoenix.
They don't like.
I think everybody wants out of
Everybody's,
Phoenix.
there's a lot
Okay,
going
Phoenix
on.
is a mess right
There's
now.
a lot
I
going
just thought. Never mind.
Yeah,
I know why he
yeah.
wants to leave.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you enjoy the
yeah,
play?
I don't know that it's all Sarver related. I'm sure some of it is.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think
What
there's
is
other stuff
this?
at play.
Molly? Who's Molly Morrison, by the way?
Pull it back up. Well, if you saw his tweets about him being very upset at
Oh.
wanting out of Cleveland, this is kind of a joke.
It's funny.
But it is funny.
Suns must have done something pretty bad to make Jay Crowder the man to trade, like threatening to cut him out of the rotation or asking him to use lowercase letters.
That's funny.
And then just so you guys get the joke, let's go
Yeah.
back when I know
Right,
it's
right.
not as funny. We have to explain it. But
So we were. Did we lose Aditi?
yeah, so
Yeah.
Because I know she's got a meeting.
let me tell you how this all went down. by
I
the
know
way.
the surprise phone call.
All right.
We scheduled